Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today, not a jersey video, but a hockey talk. Trade deadline is approaching and there were some rumors out that a certain player, Erik Karlsson, should be traded from the San Jose Sharks. There were rumors about Edmonton, I heard rumors about Los Angeles, I heard rumors about Colorado. Many teams seemed to be in on Karlsson, but why? Today I want to talk about Erik Karlsson and reasons team should not trade for Erik Karlsson. Sit back, enjoy, let's talk about number 65. Yeah, and I made up a board for that, and I not only want to talk about Karlsson, but also about the San Jose Sharks, just a little bit. So, Erik Karlsson, born May 31st, 1990. So he is 32, and during the playoffs he will turn 33. So he is in his prime, past his prime, can be a discussion point with D-men because they generally play longer and are longer in their prime than forwards. I would say this season could still be a prime, but he will be 33 when the next season comes around. So his numbers will not stay as they are right now. Comparing him and his $11.5 million cap hit until 2027, so for 4 more years, with his career average. So he began in 2009-2010, averaging 0.43 points per game. Next season, 2010-2011, 0.6 points per game. This then went up to 0.96 in 2011-2012, where he won the Norris Trophy and was a first-team All-Star. 2012-2013, 0.82 points per game. 2013-2014, 0.9 points per game. 2014-2015, 0.8 points per game. He won the Norris for the second time and was a first-team All-Star. 2015-2016, 1 point per game, first-team All-Star. 16-17, 0.92 points per game, first-team All-Star. 17-18, 0.87 points per game, 18-19, 0.85, and then the big crisis struck him, 19-20, 0.71, and 2020-2021, 0.42 points per game. 2021-2022, he went to 0.7 points per game, and this year, 2022-2023, he is at 1.28 points per game. His career average, 0.82 points per game. So he is now 0.46 points per game better than his career average. Where does this come from? This definitely also comes from the fact that the San Jose Sharks are not a very good team this year. Sounds controversial? Yeah, maybe. But what does Karlsson do on the ice for the whole year? I watched, was it 3, 4, maybe 5 Sharks games this year. Every game, Erik Karlsson was seen more in the offensive end than in the defense. He did not play defense at all. And why should he? After 1 month of the season, it was clear that the Sharks are not good enough to make it to the playoffs. So Karlsson played as he wanted. In the best style of Paul Coffey, Karlsson played as a rover. More forward than back. Every game I saw, there were defensive miscues, defensive mistakes, and wrong defensive positioning by him that almost every game led to a goal against the Sharks caused by Erik Karlsson and him not playing defense. He has all the points. Yeah. Can he win the Norris? Yeah, sure. Because the NHL does not take into account the defensive play of defensemen regarding the Norris Trophy. They should really name the Norris Trophy the trophy for the best offensive defenseman. Then Karlsson, Norris, definitely, this year. And there should be a second award for defensive defenseman. There he would be, maybe not that last, but in the bottom third of defensemen in the NHL. The Sharks let him play the game as he wants, as a rover, as a fourth forward, because why not? They're losing anyway. The team is by far not good enough to make it to the playoffs, even thinking about going anywhere in the playoffs. No way. So, would he have the same point total on a contending team? definitely no, because a contending team plays defense. They would ask him to play his defensive role much better than he has to do it with San Jose. And he would, I'm absolutely sure about that, not get as many points as he is getting now with the Sharks, where he is the go-to guy. He is the offensive dynamo, leading point getter on the team. Yeah, of course. With 1.28 points per game, nobody at the Sharks roster comes even close. And yeah, of course, as mentioned, there's also his $11.5 million cap hit until 2027, which is a problem for any contending team. The salary cap rises most probably next season, depending on, yeah, it could happen that it stays put because all these problems with the regional broadcast in the States. Yeah, the NHL will not get as much money with Bally's being bankrupt, with AT&T dropping the regional broadcast. I think they will lose almost 20 regional broadcast stations in the States, and they will lose money on that. So will the salary cap really rise as much as expected? And then there's the $11.5 million cap hit until 2027. This can be a huge problem. And for the Sharks, right now, according to Cap Friendly, they are spending on the day $80,595,001. This is their cap hit right now. Will it get better next year? I say no. They have only James Reimer, $2.25 million, and Nick Bonino, $2.05 million as UFAs this summer. They have some RFAs like Asimont, Svechnikov, Gregor, and Zetterlund, who are all on entry-level contracts. So they have to get new contracts, especially Fabian Zetterlund, who came over in the Timo Meier trade from New Jersey. He is a good player. He definitely deserves 2, maybe 3 million. Sharks will have to figure out something, and then they will be about at the same cap hit again as they are right now. Their players under 25, not much. Noah Gregor at 24, Fabian Zetterlund at 23, and Mario Ferraro, who's 24. These are, according to Cap Friendly and the roster they put up, all players under 25 on the current Sharks roster. So this is an old roster, an older roster. Not as old as Washington or Pittsburgh or Boston, but they are definitely on the older side. And they have right now upcoming all in the minors, so in the AHL or juniors. They have Bordelot, they have William Eklund, they have Coe, they have Raska, Ozzy Weisblatt, Robbins, Okotiuk, who came over for Timo Meier from New Jersey, Mukamadulin, who also came from New Jersey for Timo Meier, and Larocque. Will this be new stars, new go-to guys for the San Jose Sharks? Remains to be seen, but the chances that they become roster players, yeah, it's definitely there. And the Sharks will have to go to these guys next year, at the latest, even better this year, to see what they have at the NHL level. Their draft capital, so I only wrote down the first 2 rounds. Next year they have 2 first rounds and 1 second round pick. The first round pick is conditional from New Jersey, but I'm pretty sure the conditions will be met. In 2024 they have 1 first round and 2 second round picks. The 1 second round pick can become a first round pick from the New Jersey Devils. But if it does so, the Devils reach the conference final. So it will be a low first round pick, maybe around between 25 and 32. So what's up for the Sharks? What would they want for Erik Karlsson? If you consider what just went over the table for Tanner Jeannot from the Tampa Bay Lightning, it was more than about a handful of draft picks. Okay, some mid-round, some later round draft picks involved, but it was a handful of draft picks. that Nashville got for Tanner Jeannot? What would you ask for Erik Karlsson? What are you willing to retain? Because, yeah, $11.5 million. All the contending teams that could trade for Erik Karlsson are at or close to the cap. So, what can you get for him? I think you can ask for 2 firsts, or 1 first and 1 higher ranked prospect, and maybe a roster player and a project. If you retain at least $3 million, is that worth it? For a player who is 32, has a career year, definitely. I will not take that away from him. Karlsson has a fantastic year, but he will not be able to keep it up next year, not on the Sharks, and not at all on a contending team that will ask him to play defense. Yeah, it would be great to see Karlsson together with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice, but I think this will not happen. Not at the deadline, most likely not in the offseason. The Sharks signed this contract, they will have to eat it. Maybe in 2 years. So if they then, in 2025, in the offseason, before the 25-26 season, I think there, if the salary cap rises as expected, then you can find a good trade for Erik Karlsson that satisfies the Sharks, that satisfies Erik Karlsson, and that satisfies the buying team. Because then there are only 2 years left at $11.5 million. Right now, I think every contending team should say, okay, your asking price is 2 picks and a roster player, and in an ideal Sharks world, they would not retain any money because they need cap relief. They need to bring up the young guys that they gave away for such a long time being a successful team. And this story, we will hear this story again in the upcoming years about the Toronto Maple Leafs, about the Boston Bruins, about Washington and Pittsburgh, about all the teams that were pretty good, Tampa as well, of course, sorry for forgetting that are pretty good right now and giving away their future for the present. If they win the cup, yeah, everything is fine, then, but the fan base will want another cup. How many of these teams will be able to go for this for an extended period of time? The Sharks did it, but now they're paying the price. And they're also paying the price for Doug Wilson signing this contract before stepping away. Or being fired? Was he fired or did he step away? Let me know in the comment section below. Do I think Erik Karlsson will be traded at the deadline? No. Do I think Erik Karlsson will be traded in the offseason? No. Because the mismatch between what he's worth and what teams are willing to give up for him, this will diverge further in the years to come. He has never been worth more than right now for the remainder of the season. But should teams do it? I think no. So, Doug Wilson signed the contract. The Sharks will have to eat it, I think, at least until 2025. And Erik Karlsson will not be dealt at the deadline. Nobody should touch this contract because of its cap hit, its length, and the expected drop that will come from Erik Karlsson by a different playing style when he goes to a contender, because they will not allow him to play a game like he's doing with the Sharks right now. Okay, that's it for this one. Sorry for that I'm ranting a little bit, but yeah, I think this is one of the worst contract whatever signed in the league. Doug Wilson, sorry, you suck. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and see you soon with more hockey talk on the channel soon. Have a good time. Goodbye.